During the 2016 Democratic primaries, Bernie Sanders and progressives in general really hammered Hillary in regards to her paid speeches to Wall Street and the money she was taking from Wall Street overall. We questioned and were highly skeptical of Hillary's willingness to hold Wall Street accountable because of all the money she was taking from Wall Street. But Hillary was defiant, telling us that she told Wall Street to cut it out. Well, via the DNC leaks, we were able to see what she apparently told Wall Street, specifically Goldman Sachs. Hillary reportedly said, "That was one of the reasons that I started traveling in February of '09, so people could, literally yell at me for the United States and our banking system causing this everywhere." Now, that's an oversimplification, we know, but it was the conventional wisdom. And I think that there's a lot that could have been avoided in terms of both misunderstanding and really politicizing what happened with greater transparency, with greater openness on all sides. What happened? How did it happen? How do we prevent it from happening? You guys help us figure it out, and let's make sure that we do it right this time. I don't know about you guys, but that sure didn't sound like telling Wall Street to cut it out. In fact, it was much closer to the opposite. I mean, she basically told Wall Street that they were misunderstood and said that people blaming Wall Street for the financial crisis and the American people's subsequent bailout of Wall Street in 2008 was an quote-unquote oversimplification. And at the end, Hillary even went as far as to ask for Wall Street's help to quote-unquote figure it out. And this is troubling. This whole excerpt is troubling because we need to be tough on Wall Street. As Bernie Sanders explained on his website, the 6 largest financial institutions in this country today hold assets equal to about 60% of the nation's gross domestic product. These 6 banks issue more than 2/3 of all credit cards and over 35% of all mortgages. They control 95% of all derivatives and hold more than 40% of all bank deposits in the United States. We must break up too big to fail financial institutions. Those institutions received a $700 billion bailout from the U.S. taxpayer and more than $16 trillion in virtually zero interest loans from the Federal Reserve. Despite that, financial institutions made over $152 billion in profit in 2014, the most profitable year on record. And 3 of the 4 largest financial institutions are 80% bigger today than they were before we bailed them out. Our banking system must be part of the productive job-creating economy. The Federal Reserve, a government entity which serves as the engine of the banking industry, must eliminate its internal conflicts of interest, provide stricter oversight, and insist that the banks serve the economy in a way that works for everyone, not just a few. These institutions have acquired too much economic and political power, endangering our economy and our political process. I think that last line sums up the issue of Wall Street best. Wall Street right now has too much economic and political power. In terms of politics, that's obvious. Wall Street keeps buying off politicians, and then they get these politicians to do their bidding once in office, which is just one example out of many of why we need to get money out of politics. It has completely corrupted our political system. In terms of economics, according to the aforementioned info, look at how much control, influence, and responsibility Wall Street has over our economy. It's insane. This is why they are considered too big to fail and why the American people were made to bail them out. This should never happen. The American people should never have to bail out Wall Street. And it just shows that Wall Street has too much power and needs to be broken up. If it's too big to be allowed to fail, then it's too big to exist. Knowing all of this, as aforementioned, Hillary's words to Wall Street were quite troubling, and they add legitimacy to progressives' concerns with Hillary taking all of that money from Wall Street. She didn't sound like she was going to be tough on them at all. She was making it seem like the crash and the American people having to subsequently bail them out wasn't really Wall Street's fault. And as aforesaid, she even asked for their help to quote-unquote figure it out. That's not what we need to do. We need to break up the major banks on Wall Street. They are too big to fail, which means they are too big to exist. Hillary said she told Wall Street to cut it out, but that's not what she said at all. She acted like all of the money she was taking from Wall Street didn't matter, but it does matter. Money in politics matters. Chances are pretty good that, and I think it is more than reasonable to deduce that, Wall Street gave Hillary all of the money that they did because they believed, in the end, that Hillary was on their side. That's money in politics. Hey guys, if you want to help out this show, you can follow our various social media links. Also, we have a Facebook group that you can join as well. And if you want to follow me on social media, you could do that as well. Alright guys.